Hey there, welcome to my channel. This video is part 2 of my men's denim wear. The first video I went over men's denim that had really high sell-through rates and would be quick movers for you. This video is going to focus on a lot of bread and butter denim brands as well as a few higher end brands. Some of these don't have as high of a sell-through rate, but they can still be really solid brands to resell. So let's dive right in. The first brand that I wanted to highlight is Rock Revival. This is a more well-known brand. The sell-through rate on this is actually high at 100%, and I was seeing these sell for anywhere from $35 on the low end upward to $100 depending on the style and model. And you will find that a lot in denim. Some styles and models do a lot better than other models and styles, so it's always a good idea to double check the specific style and model and make sure that it has a decent sell-through rate and is going to be worth picking up. Jacob Cohen is another solid brand to pick up if the price is right. The sell-through rate on this is a little lower, but still pretty strong at 60%. And I was seeing these sell for $50 and up. It's no surprise that Carhartt made the list. Carhartt is a very well-known brand, a great brand to resell. However, not all Carhartt denim sells the same. You're going to want to keep an eye out specifically for double knee carpenter jeans. These had a sell-through rate of 100% versus just men's Carhartt jeans in general only had a sell-through rate of 25%, which is pretty low. So that's another great example of how some models do really well and others not quite as well. Affliction is a great brand. Sell-through rate at the time of doing this video was 85%. And I was seeing them sell for, on the low end, $35 and up. We've sold Affliction in the past and it's done really well for us. Definitely a brand to keep an eye out for. Keaton is a high-end Italian brand. Sell-through rate on this was 50% and I was seeing them sell for $50 and up. Now, some of these brands that I mentioned are higher end brands. Others will be more bread and butter. So I realized some of the higher end brands aren't going to be as prevalent when you're out thrifting, but it's still good to be aware of the brands, because what if it's your lucky day and you're at the bins and you come across one of these higher end brands? That way you know to grab it rather than throw it aside because you've never heard of it. Joe Jeans is another brand that can do well. Again, some models are much better than others. This is going to be more of a bread and butter item. They were selling for $20 total on the low end, and the sell-through rate was only about 25%. So this would be one of those brands that you'd want to pick up at the bins or at a yard sale if you find it for cheap for, only $1 or $2. Adriano Goldschmied is a solid brand. Sell-through rate is 30%, so it is on the lower end. And I was seeing these sell for around $25 total. So this would be more of a bread and butter item. Some of these brands are going to sit a little longer, but the good thing with jeans, they don't take up a lot of space. And I'm willing to hold on to items if I know that eventually they'll sell for decent money or be a good bread and butter item in my store. Naked Famous had a sell-through rate of 80%, which is great. And they're selling for $40 total on the low end. So definitely a solid brand worth keeping an eye out for. Okay, this NYX brand had a sell-through rate of 300%, which means it should move super fast for you. It is Polar Skate Company. I was seeing these sell for $60 on the low end. I even saw some denim shorts in this brand that were doing really well, so keep an eye out for those as well. As I'm sure you're aware, vintage denim is really great for resale right now. It is a very hot item, and the wide leg grunge skater look is really in. So if you find vintage denim like that, for example, Polar Skate Company, definitely pick that one up. This next brand is Patagonia, and I know that this brand is known for its outdoor gear, outdoor wear, but they actually make jeans, which I did not realize that. And the sell-through rate on these is 75%, which is great. I've seen them sell for $35 total and up, and they also make men's denim shorts. Phat Farm, PHAT, has a sell-through rate of 40%. And they were selling for $25 and up. Rock and Roll Jeans had a great sell-through rate at 100%, so it should move quickly, and they were selling for $35 and up. Seven for All Mankind is another great denim brand. Sell-through rate on this was 40%. They were selling for around $30 and up. Buckle BKE jeans had a decent sell-through rate at 60%, and they were selling for around $30 and up. CC Filson had a sell-through rate of 74%, and these were selling for $60 upwards to $100. Definitely a solid brand that can actually bring in a pretty good return. Stone Island was a brand that I hadn't heard of before, and it actually has a really good sell-through rate at 78%, and these were selling for $75 and more. So great brand. I'm going to definitely keep my eye out for those in the future. Ironheart didn't have the highest sell-through rate at 33%, but they were selling for between $100 and $200. So sometimes if I come across an item like this, I'm still going to pick it up, even if I know it might sit a little bit longer. If I know it's going to have a high return, then I'm okay with it sitting a little bit longer in my store, knowing that eventually it'll be a pretty decent payout. Nudie Denim had a sell-through rate of 58%, and they're selling from $40 up. Cody James had a pretty high sell-through rate at 75%, and they were selling for $30 and up. Paige Jeans had a sell-through rate of 68%, and I was seeing them right about that $30 mark again. So a lot of good bread and butter type brands here. Anchor Blue had a sell-through rate of 79%, and these were selling for right around that $35 range. Carly Connie had a 42% sell-through rate, and they were also selling for around that $35 range. Now, last but not least is the brand Artful Dodger. This had a sell-through rate of 100%, and I was seeing these sell for $40 and up. And some of the highly embellished or embroidered ones were selling for around $100. So definitely keep an eye out for those. Okay, so there you have it, 23 men's denim brands to keep an eye out for. Of course, this list is not comprehensive, but hopefully it helped you recognize a few brands that maybe you weren't familiar with before. Thank you so much for watching, and happy thrifting.